So what I have here is a new puzzle. It's from Eureka. It's called the Treasure Hunt. It gets 4 stars. I don't know if that means 4 out of 4 difficulty or just their opinion of its quality, but let's find out. Oh yeah, I see. 4 stars means puzzle experts, specialists only. From what I can tell, the goal of the puzzle is to remove the cross from the glass, maybe using the chopsticks. Not quite sure. Let's see. Okay, so we do get 2, they're not chopsticks, they're just wooden rods. And then we have kind of a glass beaker with a plastic cross in it, and I'm presuming if I tip it upside down the cross won't come out. Now, it doesn't come with any instructions, it just comes like this. Okay, so let's start a timer and see. The first thing that occurs to me is that this cross looks like it comes apart, in which case presumably it would come out, but I don't know if I'm not meant to be using my fingers like this, or actually maybe that's the whole point, is you can't just use your fingers. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't seem easy. So presumably what I have to do is use the sticks to pull the 2 bits of the cross apart. Alright, let's see. So as I try and see, to apply the force necessary, it's going to involve just turning it around. To sort of wedge it. To do this? Am I breaking the rules? I don't know, it doesn't say, there's no indication of there being any rules. It's interesting because the plastic shape, can you hear that? It kind of rattles. What that means. Alright, well let's do this. To take the cross apart, I think you must be. I can't imagine that you can get the cross out without taking it apart. Just checking there isn't some really annoying thing like the base unscrewing. I don't think so. I'm glad the glass is nice and thick. I don't feel like I'm going to risk breaking it just by applying pressure to it, as I would if it were just a normal beaker. What would you do at this point? I'm imagining you're screaming at me saying, why aren't you doing this obvious thing? What is the obvious thing that I'm not doing? And I promise you, unless there is something that is really right, it feels like it should be really easy, and yet somehow it just isn't, because all the times you try to get pressure on it, you're sort of pushing either against the glass or you're just turning it around. Is it definitely going to come apart though? This is the question. Surely it has to. I can't imagine that there's some sneaky way to fit this out through the gap without taking it apart. Is there? No, I'm convinced you have to take this cross apart. Oh, wait a minute. I hadn't thought of something really obvious. What if the cross is being held in place, held together by something that moves? through the middle of the cross. Why didn't I think about this? This would explain why it rattles, and also maybe why it can't come apart. It's actually being held together under gravity. Oh, is it a spinny one? I'm going to feel silly if it is, not thinking of that earlier. Thing is, if it is, it's then very difficult to get at. Oh, maybe use the sticks to sort of balance it in a horizontal position. Okay. So in case you're not familiar with this, the idea of spinning is that the force that we're not allowed to call centrifugal force causes some balls or bolts or something to move outwards from the center, and in the center they're sort of blocking things moving, and as they move out they allow it to open up. There's a very good Hanayama puzzle, which I won't name, that has that mechanism. So you'll often see people when they're trying a new puzzle spinning it, but it didn't really occur to me with this one until way too late. But now I'm wondering, it doesn't have to be spinning, it could be something else, but if it isn't spinning, you'd think I'd have accidentally got it the right way up by now. Quite nicely. Doesn't help me get it out, because the problem is as soon as I shift it, the balls might move back into the center. Okay, so I'm going to guess that this is the idea, that you have to spin it. Well, actually, one option is just that if you spin it, it might just fall apart under gravity. Oh no. But that would explain why I haven't been able to pull it apart, right? I can't see anything. I'm trying to see if I can see something blocking it, but it's quite hard to tell. Sending everything flying. What are the sticks for? The sticks have got to be for holding it in place, right? I feel like if this was the solution, I'd be hearing it happening, and I'm just not. Okay, so something, I think, is holding these two bits together, and the trick is figuring out how to get it to move out the way, whatever it is. Every now and then I think I can see the bolt or whatever that's going through the inside of the cross, but I'm not really sure. I also noticed that each piece is made of two pieces stuck together. I guess that's just how they get the ball bearings or whatever inside it. So it doesn't sound like ball bearings, it sounds like, I don't know, little tiny bits of metal or something. It could just be really small ball bearings, of course. would explain one stick. I'm not sure it would explain both sticks. If you do have to take it apart, then it's some sort of movement that's going to get it apart. I mean, it doesn't just pull apart. I'm pretty sure about that. So it isn't just a matter of getting it in the right place where the pieces come apart. It's something that is in there that's keeping it together. I really like the spinning idea, but that doesn't seem to be working. The problem with the spinning idea is that now I can't get my hand in to lift the middle piece out, and if I move it, then I'll push back whatever was blocking it, probably. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so there's definitely something that's moving along this axis. But it's less clear if there's anything moving on this axis. It sort of makes a bit of a tinkling noise, but not a kind of obvious ball sliding type of noise. I don't know why spinning would be the right answer here, actually, because just gravity would take things away. Oh no, unless it was sort of two pins. I guess these could be the clues, visual clues. Yeah, I mean, if you had two pins in here that were, well, yeah, where each pin was kind of almost the length of one of, or actually the whole length of this, perhaps even just. That would do it, right? Okay, yeah, so it's the one that's... So if I hold this in place, in theory there shouldn't be any pins in that one now. That is, the one that has the pins in. I bet it is spinning. I really think it must be. I can't think what other movement there is that you wouldn't just sort of accidentally hit just by moving it around. There's other directions you can spin, but there's no logical reason why that would help. I mean, there could be some complex maze inside there of something that's holding it in place that, I don't know, somehow you have to move it in the right sequence of directions to get it open, but that sort of seems almost unfair somehow. My new theory is that you've got to spin it one way up and then spin it the other way up. I'm not sure why that would make a difference. But yeah, it's got to. I'm just sure it's spinning. I just can't think of another mechanism that could be solvable in this way. And the problem is the act of turning it over is surely going to undo the first one. I'm wondering if there's no force required to separate them, you just sort of lift and... Ooh, that was quite a good turn actually. Oh! Maybe if you can turn it sort of perfectly along the right axis, you won't mess up. No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not particularly convinced that the sticks are for spinning it, because you can spin it using one stick, but surely not fast enough. I suppose actually you can get it faster. Yeah, maybe that is. But I am convinced now that maybe the sticks are here for lifting this up. Oops. And that the idea is, if you can lift it up and only rotate it in this axis, maybe you don't mess with something. I'm not sure what that would mean, honestly. Just kind of whacking it now. Oh! Yes! That took 51 minutes. Oh, wow. Okay, so what's happening? Okay, yeah, so I was right. You've got these sort of two rods, and in order to get them apart, you have to spin it so they move away. I guess there's enough friction in there that it doesn't work very well every time. But what's with the turning them upside down thing? Maybe I was just getting lucky at the end. Hang on, let's see. So if we allow these to be together, if we spin it, it doesn't come apart. Oops. Oh. So if we're spinning both of them, and this one's this way up, okay. Yeah, so it only seems to work, for reasons I don't yet understand, when the gap is up. So basically having, yeah, okay, and then that makes sense. And then having, right, so having got this one into this open position, if you rotate it that way, you're going to cause that to happen. Whereas if you can rotate it that way and then spin, now you've got this one in the correct position. Okay, so I guess that makes sense. In case you haven't got it, the idea here is you're using, I don't know if it's centrifugal or centripetal force, the force that pushes things outwards when they spin. I mean, it doesn't really, there's all this physics argument about it. It's really just continuing movement rather than force, but whatever. Let's pretend it's a force. So as you spin something, there's a force that seems like it pushes things outwards. Somehow these are designed, and it's really hard to tell how. I guess I can take it apart, but these are designed so that they only work when they're this way up, not this way up. So there must be some other mechanism, I guess, that's blocking them from moving. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, there we go. Right, so with it this way up, the rods will not go outwards. They get blocked by something. And then when you tip it this way up, they'll move outwards. That's so clever. Wow, that is ingenious. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, so the trick then is, the only way to get them apart is to have them both be in this state, which means you have to have had it both ways up. And the only way to do that is, hang on. Okay, so now they're locked together. So what we have to do is we have to spin that first of all, and then what that's done is it has freed this one here. So if we now turn it that way, hopefully we don't disturb that set of rods. And now those rods are sort of locked in place. We spin it and hopefully, yeah, it opens up. So there we go, that's the secret to it. So let's see if we can get it back together again. Actually, that's non-trivial, but not, I think, super difficult. Let's see if we can do it. It's funny how often getting puzzles back to their original state is hard or harder than solving them in the first place, but I don't think that's going to be true. I think this is going to be alright. Or am I wrong? Actually, that's quite difficult. I'm going to lower this in. Okay, if I could just... Oh yeah, it's going to be that way up. There we go. Now is it? No, it doesn't actually lock open, that's the problem. Right, yeah. That's why I had to rotate it that way, not that way. Okay, so let's just get it in. By the way, I'm guessing if you're good with chopsticks, you might find this easier than if you're not good with chopsticks. Don't know. Let me know. Ah, okay, I messed that one up again, so I'm gonna redo it. I'll tell you what though, when you can get a position in a puzzle where you really understand what's happening, that's very satisfying. Even if it does not make it easy to get it back together again. This is super fiddly. But I've got to say, solving that was so satisfying. It was sort of this process of elimination that was happening in my head of all the things that you could do, none of which either made sense or worked. And the idea that you just could sort of force it out through here meant the sticks were pointless, so unless they were just a massive red herring, that just didn't seem like a goer. The more I thought about it. There we go. Whew. Okay, so it took me a little under an hour. That's the Eureka 3D puzzle treasure hunt. 4 stars out of 4. I think that's about right. That's actually very, very difficult, and a really clever mechanism as well. I think difficult puzzles are great when there's something you can figure out and understand. Difficult puzzles when it's a bit arbitrary, yeah, not so fun. So yeah, this I really liked. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.